Alright, everyone, this is Two Dorks, One Mic. My name is Kyle.
And I'm James.
Alright, so I guess to start off with a bit of sad news, Zack Snyder has left Justice League due to a family tragedy. And I'm not going to go too deep into the tragedy of it because if you want to know what it is, you can look it up. But, him and his wife made the decision to step down and go and deal with their kids because he's got like 8 kids. So,
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah.
I knew the sensitive material, but I never did a lot. But I never did any digging on my own. So
Yeah. But Joss,
it is a very touchy topic. This is something that many have been able to properly phrase or choose their words wisely when discussing this, and then some not so much.
Oh, there were some articles that just pissed me off because it was just the article was basically Joss Whedon to take over Justice League from Zack Snyder, and I'm like,
I saw a bunch of people reposting just like the article headers, and I'm thinking that is very disrespectful. This is by no means exciting news. This is
sad.
Big news, but it's not really exciting.
I mean, because like I said, I mean, you, me, and the audience, we're all fans of these characters in this kind of genre of films, but at the end of the day, it's just a movie.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
there's a lot that goes on in the process to make it.
Yeah, and to do that, but apparently Joss Whedon was brought in earlier to kind of just oversee Justice League, and apparently Snyder showed him a cut of the movie, and then he helped do some rewrites for reshoots, and now Joss is going to just take over doing the reshoots. But, I mean, all of our thoughts and everything go out to Zack Snyder and his family, and that's just and
yes,
you
as a person who's voiced many very seemingly aggressive opinions about his recent work. I'd say that's just from as a filmmaker, as a professional. From a personal standpoint, he's probably a great guy.
Well,
really he's person.
Yeah,
he's a guy that loves the material he's working on.
Yeah, he's a fan. He's a fan of the material and all that. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's just a movie.
Yeah, and as a person, as just an everyday person, and stuff like that happens, all we can do is hope for the best moving forward, and that he manages to move forward with time. It's going to probably be a while before he steps back in.
What I loved is that Warner Brothers gave that statement that said as soon as he's ready to come back, and him and his wife have the full support of Warner Brothers to come back and do whatever project they want to do.
Yeah, they're definitely one of the better companies out there for filmmakers.
Oh yeah, they take care of their people.
Yes, and that makes the in light of these unfortunate events very a bit more easier to digest, knowing that there is a lot of people rooting for Snyder and hoping that again as time moves forward, that his things improve and that the situation improves and things get better for him.
Absolutely. Yeah. So. Like I said, our thoughts go out to him. But moving on to that, do we want to talk about how we feel about Joss taking over?
Sure. I mean, we really can't. If we're gonna bring this up, we might as well
talk about it.
Discuss it.
I'm interested to see. Well, I don't know how much of the movie is getting reshoots. Is my question.
Yeah, it's kind of a touchy thing. That seems to be a trend that's happening a lot these days. Like we get those alternate cuts with the physical release of movies, and then during the shoot of these big budget movies, especially comic book movies, we have to hear all this news about reshoots.
Well, reshoots. I mean, a lot of movies do reshoots, and that's kind of the thing. You go back. You shoot the movie, you bring it to the editing bay, you do a cut of it, and then you're just like, okay, well, I think we can go back and reshoot this, and this, just to make it better. Reshoots don't necessarily mean a bad product.
They can be for the best, but it can be a little questionable when it's such a large scale project, and again, the frequency of reshoots seems to be happening more and more with movies.
Right. Rogue One had a lot of reshoots too.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, Rogue One had reshoots. Suicide Squad had reshoots.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of Rogue One. Like, I just thought the two leads weren't really that interesting. I mean, all the cool stuff was cool. Like, Darth Vader was the shit.
Yeah, when you pay James Earl Jones enough money to get back to his real big break,
yeah,
your movie's going to get a lot of good attention. And I also agree, I didn't really see it when I finally went to the theater and saw Rogue One. I really couldn't see it. Like, why is this such a big deal? To me, it was just, we really didn't need the film to begin with.
Right.
I mean, sure, it's nice when we can get a visual version of like a small story or small details, but I really felt it just it told us something we really didn't need a lot more explanation on, and it doesn't help that just about all the characters in the cast were just not likable.
I mean, I like the side characters. I thought, Nani Young and the rocket guy were cool, and I liked the Imperial pilot and K2SO.
K2SO was my favorite part of the movie because Alan Tudyk makes movies better.
Yes. But, like, Justice League, I'm interested to see what Joss does, but I'm still looking forward to it. I mean, like, this hasn't changed my opinion on it.
I am as well. I mean, I say it more than I should. Ben Affleck as Batman is one of my favorite things of all time.
It was a great casting choice, which is ironic because you go back when it was announced. I remember because I was actually hanging out with friends when we were actually watching the director's cut of Daredevil from 2003, and then one of my other friends calls me and says, "Hey, did you hear?" I'm like, "What? Ben Affleck's been cast as Batman," and I thought he was joking. And then I just kind of, like, had to stand outside for a minute. And I was like, Ben Affleck is Batman. Huh. Like, I wasn't against it, but, like, it took me a minute to kind of click in my head to where I was like, yeah, Ben Affleck is Batman. Okay.
I think everybody was against him. I was one of the few people around my area or around the time that was like, I'm all for it. Because I viewed him because I was looking at him as the person that we got to know better in recent years and not his past.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking at it from like, okay, I'm looking at the talented filmmaker, writer, and actor from the last several years, and not the actor who had hit and misses for the better part of his early career.
Yeah.
That's why I was so enthusiastic. Was like, oh, I have complete faith in him. I love his work. I love the movies, the great movies that he made beforehand.
Yep. And
yeah, I mean, sure, a lot of people were burned by Daredevil, but that's in the past. And
Daredevil, like I said on my own YouTube channel, Daredevil, the theatrical cut isn't good, but the director's cut is pretty good. The director's cut, I think, is the best comic book movie to come out pre The Dark Knight.
I'm going to have to sit down and watch that because I have not seen it.
The director's cut of Daredevil is actually really good. Moving on to kind of other sad news. Roger Moore has passed away. That it's just weird to think that he's the first one to go, because he's the first Bond that actually died.
Yeah, really.
Sean Connery, George Lazenby, you know, Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, or Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig. He's actually the first one that actually passed.
It's kind of strange. Not that I'm making a humor, like something humorous out of this, but I mean, in light of all the, in time, all the unfortunate passings of well-known actors.
Yeah. It's
kind of strange to know that Sean Connery's still kicking.
I know, right? It's weird. Well,
it is weird. I mean,
here's the thing. Roger Moore's actually older than Sean Connery. By, I think, like 2 or 3 years.
See, I'm kind of the noob.
New Bond?
James Bond fan, because I only watched the Daniel Craig films. I had not seen any of the previous ones before that.
Right.
That was what got me into that franchise, so I don't really know the history or...
Well, I mean... The thing with me is, like, I didn't really like Roger Moore's Bond movies because they were just too campy for me. Like, those are the movies where, like, he hops across alligators and, like, is really, like, there's no real threat to him or anything, so... I mean, I wasn't personally a fan of that kind of James Bond, but, you know...
It kind of helps, even when it comes to iconic characters, it helps to make them at least realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we know they're going to get through it at the end of the day, but it helps to know that they're still going to, like, knock it out of it without at least some injuries or something, so...
Yeah.
I'd have to watch the films to get, like, to really understand that, but from what you told me, hopping alligators, that's a little strange. It is...
Okay.
That is strange.
Yeah. So I think our last sad story of the day is that Doug Liman has left Justice League Dark.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
What's this guy's deal with dropping projects?
I don't know, but apparently the guys who did It are now being in negotiations to helm the project.
Well, I just find it strange because, I mean, Doug Liman made Edge of Tomorrow, not Live, Die, Repeat, when they were going through their marketing or identity thing, where it was Edge of Tomorrow. He made that was a huge success, and it was kind of like, what's he going to do next? And then I remember reading he was tapped to direct the Splinter Cell movie, and then after that, he dropped that project. I'm like, why did he drop that? That would have been great.
Yep. And
then I saw, he's now been picked to direct Justice League Dark. I thought, that's going to be great. So then I read he dropped that too. Like, what is this guy's deal?
I don't know.
Why is he dropping all these cool projects?
That's why they need to hire you and me to do Justice League Dark.
I actually thought about that.
We will start our campaign to write and direct Justice League Dark.
I thought in the possible near future, in the next couple of years, if our success pans out a lot faster than we think it would, but not that we're getting ahead of ourselves or getting too big for our britches.
Yeah.
But if hypothetically, if things were to go really well, I think it wouldn't be that far of a stretch if we got picked to helm.
Well, like I said, I always thought you could do. I mean, I won't get into what I would want to do with the film now, but yeah, I think those guys would be a good fit. I like the It trailer. I like the stuff that we've gotten from it. It's always weird to talk about It as a movie because you're like, oh, I like the It trailer. It looks really good. You know, it's like, you know, it's just kind of.
It has my attention, even though horror movies have lost their effect on me.
Well, I mean, it's based on a really, really, really good Stephen King novel, so you know, it's as long as they're pulling from good material with that.
Of course, yes.
Do we want to talk about the photos that got released for episode 8 with the cast standing around?
I think I saw those.
It looks good. I'm still looking forward to Star Wars.
You know, as a laid-back fan, of course, I'll still support the movies. Force Awakens wasn't as big a deal to me as everybody else was.
Well, because you didn't grow up when the pre-trilogy came out in the same way that my generation did.
The abridged tridge, as I like to call it.
Well, I mean, I remember when Star Wars was a trilogy, and that was it. You know, it was 1, 2, and 3. It wasn't I mean, they were called episode 4, 5, and 6, but everyone referred to it as a trilogy. I mean, I still own the trilogy, the unaltered trilogy on VHS. So the non-special edition, which are always fun to watch.
It's kind of funny to watch those constant like updated versions because you're like, it's strange. I mean, as a young kid, I didn't really notice those things, but as I grew up and realized that there were multiple different versions of those 3 movies, I found it like, it's something it's strange seeing how many different versions of this film there are.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, in the special edition of A New Hope, you got all this wax looking CG. You have that cutscene with Jabba the Hutt. He's just looking completely like a sore thumb.
We don't
using that live action scene. Using that scene where they actually had a physical actor, and then just coded it with a digital model so they could use it. It was I never noticed the difference back then.
Yeah,
it's weird to me.
But yeah, it's just I'm looking forward to Star Wars. It's like my second or third most anticipated movie of the year.
I'm looking forward to getting my Kylo Ren fix.
Yeah. Kylo Ren was such a badass in Episode 7.
He was. Everybody thinks he's like a little emo bitch, and I'm over here like he's actually a pretty good villain.
Yeah.
The
guy killed Han Solo. You don't come back from that.
You definitely don't want to trifle with that guy.
No.
He killed an iconic character.
Yeah.
Without a second thought. You just did it.
Yeah. We got 2 new Spider-Man trailers this week.
We did.
I like these trailers. I really do. But, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's still technically a Sony movie. Don't fuck it up, Sony. Don't fuck it up.
It still can't be as bad as Paul Feig, or what's his name?
Are you talking about Ghostbusters?
Yeah, it can't be bad as his misstep in humor.
Well, that's the thing. The trailer looks like the jokes look funny. Tom Holland looks great. Vulture actually.
The big selling point for me is the Peter Parker stuff. Spider-Man is cool and all, but
that scene. I love that scene where he's like, oh, I helped this old lady, and she bought me a churro. So that was nice, And like the way he's got like the mask like half covering his face, it looks straight out of the comics.
Yeah, we really don't get to see that in the movies, with the exception of the shitty kissing stuff from like Raimi's trilogy. Like, that's like another thing he did first before Deadpool did.
Yeah,
but doing the half mask thing.
Yeah, but no, I liked how it looked, and
I still think the costume is fantastic.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's.
I mean, yeah, sure, it was made by Tony Stark, but it's still one of the most practical looking outfits that he's worn today.
And what I love is that his original Spidey costume, the one he makes, looks so much like the Ben Reilly Spectacular, the Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, the pieces are there with the hoodie and the.
I love that costume. I love the Scarlet Spider costume so much. Like as a kid, I was like, "That's
one of the best costumes out there." Like that was really made out of like a budget of zip. And it looks so awesome.
It does, yeah. So
I'm stoked for the Peter Parker stuff because when I think Spider-Man, I think Ultimate Spider-Man. That still is my favorite version of the character. That's my favorite universe. Because I feel the stories in that universe are the most grounded and have the most realistic take on those characters. And Spider-Man is my favorite out of all of it because my problem with the mainstream comics is they try, and even the movies, they try way too hard to make Peter Parker grow up.
Yeah.
And his most defining trait is that he's a kid. He's a kid fighting crime.
Yeah.
In the shadow of all these big, more experienced superheroes.
And he's funny,
Yeah, because that was one of the bigger things. Like when even Stan Lee said back in the day, like they were kind of like when they were still trying to making the character and kind of like, is it going to be successful? Like he's a kid, and usually only kids are sidekicks, and nobody wants to see. People hate spiders. Nobody wants to see a spider-themed superhero.
Yeah,
and it all worked out.
Yep.
And it just sucks that we don't get to see that. We really don't get to see that side of the character.
Which, well, apparently with this is that the Spider-Man movies are going to be kind of weird with continuity because, from what I heard, every movie is going to be 1 year of high school. Like this one's going to be like, I think, sophomore. Then the next one will be junior, and then finally it'll be a senior high school movie.
All right.
So it's not going to be the thing of like, where the movies come out. It's like they're coming out at the time where it's like past the events of the first Iron Man.
Okay.
So it's going to be, like Civil War takes place in 2015. And Homecoming's going to take place in 2015, like right after Civil War.
All right. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I just don't want to see Peter grow up too soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like
this problem I have with those previous movies is that, like, stop trying. I understand that these actors are much older. Stop trying to make him grow the fuck up. He's better as a kid.
Oh yeah, he's totally.
And it makes it all the more fantastic fact that Tom Holland's only 20 years old and he pulls off the youthful aspect of Peter very well.
Yeah, and like I said, I want Mysterio as the villain for the sequel. God damn it. Just
Let's make it happen.
God damn it.
Somebody call Bruce Campbell and say, we need you for this.
We need you. Your time has come.
It is your time to shine, Ash.
Yes. Just play Mysterio like Ash. No, just have him be Ash. Spider-Man versus Ash. Are you telling me you wouldn't want to see that movie?
I would still love to. It'll probably never happen, but I would still be okay with seeing like a Marvel Zombies movie. If they could adapt Army of Darkness versus Marvel Zombies, oh, that'd be great.
That'd be great as like an animated movie.
It would be, but the thing is, Marvel doesn't have a huge focus on animated stuff like DC does. Who knows? Maybe their new approach to media might mean they might do more animated movies. Or
could you imagine if that was? Could you imagine if that was a DLC in the new Spider-Man video game, Ash versus Marvel Zombies? If that was I was
just gonna think like get the costume.
No, like a DLC of like where you play as Ash. Like how Call of Duty has like the zombies, Nazi zombies. Make it to where you're Ash fighting Marvel zombies.
I think the baby step would be play as Ash Williams in zombies mode and then like do because it's a Marvel Zombies is an incredibly controversial comic book because it takes all of this entire iconic like all these different universes because it's not just one universe.
Right.
It literally spans the multiverse and turns them into gross, decaying husks that have an incredibly aggressive lust for Flash.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't have a weak stomach, so I was able to read through this stuff and enjoy it for the interesting material that it was. But even I will admit, there's some stuff in there that kind of like, ugh, why would they put this in there?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But no,
but it's still a great story, and if they can adapt it into something, whether it be a video game or an animated movie or even a live action movie, make it so. Come on, let's make it happen. It's a great comic book that does not deserve to be shunned.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like I said, the trailers look awesome. Vulture actually looks intimidating, which I didn't think would be possible.
Well, I mean, it's Michael Keaton. He can.
Yeah.
He can be intimidating.
He's Michael fucking Keaton,
Yeah, he can. He's played intimidating characters before. I mean, just watch Birdman.
Oh, I love Birdman.
All he does is intimidate people with his seriousness.
Yes. The man was running around in tidy whities and you were still scared of him.
Yeah. Because he's off his fucking rocker. Yeah. It's great.
Again, yeah. Do we want to talk about the New Mutants?
Actually, I was actually going to bring up, we got, speaking of Spider-Man, we have our first official promo teasers for the upcoming animated Spider-Man movie.
Oh, you're talking about the graffiti poster?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. I actually have something else about the trailer for Homecoming, but go ahead.
Go ahead. Basically, I'm just gonna say that this movie is definitely going to be a big thing. I think it was the Licensor Expo where this was revealed, and I'm excited because it's finally, after years of waiting, Miles Morales is going to get the recognition he deserves.
Yep.
It's not going to be a live action movie like I wanted, but an animated movie, I can settle for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just going to be really cool to see how they approach this. I'm really anxious to see what the kind of style they're going to go for, how it's going to look in CG animation and all the cool stuff that they can do. I'm also still kind of curious who they're going to get to play Miles, as well as who Liev Schreiber is going to be playing in the film. For those of us that wish we could have gotten to play more Sabretooth, he's not out of comic books just yet. He's going to be playing the villain in this film. And I'm anxious to kind of see who he plays.
Donald Glover in Homecoming. I thought he was just gonna be like a villain, like side character, but apparently he actually is like helping Spider-Man, because like there's that scene in the trailer where he's like, "You need to get better at this." So maybe, okay, I know this is a crazy theory, but maybe he is playing Miles Morales, except they made Miles Morales older.
They kind of flipped the scripts.
Yeah.
That's possible. It's an interesting theory. I mean, for those of us that really want to adhere to the possibility of him playing this character in a movie, that's not a bad way to look at it. I mean, what if they seeing that this is like a different universe that does different interpretations of these characters, what if it was the other way around, where he's kind of like behind the scenes and isn't so, like, has powers, but is very much more discreet and secretive about it.
Yeah.
Not trying to be a hero. And then here's Peter trying to do the hero thing, and kind of like, maybe I should coach this guy.
Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, who wouldn't want Donald Glover as their life coach?
I'd be okay with that. The fact that he's getting to make that Deadpool series, and his work on Community.
Oh, I mean, he's a great rapper, he's a great actor, he's a great writer, like, he's a great director if you've seen Atlanta. Like, is there nothing this guy can't do?
This guy, he's pretty much the full package. Let him do more, please.
Yeah, he's great at stand-up. Have you seen his stand-up?
I have not. I should.
There's one on Netflix. He does stand-up. There's one Netflix thing he did for stand-up, and it's really, really funny.
Oh, he's a funny guy. He's great. So yeah, I think it'd be really cool if we got to see him actually get to play Miles Morales on the big screen. Yeah, maybe there'll be like a post-credit scene, just planting the seeds to see him actually be revealed.
Yeah.
As the character, because if Sony's gonna be too stubborn to give us any other, like, a different version of Peter Parker as Spider-Man, the least they could do is just give us another Spider-Man.
Yeah, like I will see Donald Glover in anything.
Yes, I will as well.
Yes.
And so yeah, I mean the animated movie is its own separate thing. I mean the movies probably have a bigger agenda.
Speaking
I
of not,
said the animated movie is going to be like the gate opener to more possible stuff. I mean, I think that might be like they might do like an entire universe of animated Spider-Man movies where they could do more than Miles. Where they might they could probably do like an animated Spider-Verse movie, or might even tempt the MCU to.
Right.
And I really, really am say this incredibly lightly, but maybe might give like Disney the opportunity to create some animated Marvel movies.
Yeah.
I'd be very skeptical of the possibility, but I would not be entirely against the idea of them doing it.
Right. I'm just excited to actually fucking see Donald Glover like get more stuff. And speaking of not being connected to the MCU, Venom is not going to be connected to the MCU. Sinister Six is not going to be connected to the MCU. So again, I don't give a shit.
I don't either. I mean, the fact that Tom Hardy is playing one of comic books' most interesting villains.
That would be like doing a Joker movie without Batman.
Yeah, well, this is tricky to talk about because I'm thinking about it. Well, the thing about the Joker is that it's kind of going back to that duality sort of thing. It's like him and Batman are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Whereas Venom is kind of is literally his own entity.
Right, but I'm saying, like, okay, so if this is separate, that means that we're not going to get him... We're not going to get the symbiote suit on Peter, so then how does it get the spider powers? And...
I have a feeling this movie's gonna retcon.
Then don't call it Venom.
Is gonna retcon the details. I'm going to treat this. If it's not going to be connected, I'm going to treat this like Logan, where it's in its own bubble. It subtly retcons some details.
But the thing with Logan is we saw Wolverine with the X-Men already. Like, yes. There wasn't anything left for him to do in that universe. There's still... Like, it's not like Tom Hardy has played Venom for 5 years in the MCU and been connected, and now he's going to get his own solo movie, which is going to be outside of continuity to be R-rated. It's not that.
Well, what I'm getting at is, this could be... Though they're saying saying this is how it is, I'd imagine when the movie goes into production or finishes writing or whatever, whenever it actually starts being made, they might actually step back a bit and say that, this movie actually will have some connections. They're just not going to be explicitly shown. It's going to be kind of like little details. And that's what I mean by kind of retconning it, where it still can stand in its own bubble and be its own thing, while not needing to rely on a connection to the other movies.
Right.
Because you are right. It is going to be kind of weird seeing Venom, even though Spider-Man's not going to be in the film, and we haven't had any of that stuff established yet. But Venom has had enough of his own solo stuff that... Right,
but he spun out of that event.
Yeah, but I just think that... I just think with time, as more time passes and when we get closer to more information about the movie and it gets closer to production, that maybe some things will change.
Yeah.
Because going back to Logan, when it was announced, we thought it was going to have a larger connection to the X-Men films, but as it got closer to production and they released more information, they went on to say that though it is connected, it's in its own space.
Right. Well, it even paid off the thing that was set up in the Wolverine. Where in the Wolverine, she goes, "You were dying, and I saw you holding your heart," because his daughter is his heart, and he dies holding her hand.
You got that from the Honest Trailers video.
Well, that's what I knew that before the Honest Trailer came out.
I'm just joking.
The Honest Trailer made that connection, but that's what I thought when I saw the movie. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. It paid it off, But
yeah, it's the little details, the little things that you don't really think too much about. It's still connected, but it's not explicitly told, like said. I remember reading a little something a bit backwards that in one of the earlier drafts of the film, we actually got to see what the Manhattan
what happened to the X-Men.
Yeah, we actually get to see that opening. We actually get to see. I think they even said that they actually did have in that draft that they actually did get to see Hugh Jackman in the iconic yellow and blue suit.
Right.
But as they got further into the film, they wanted to separate. They wanted to work more on separating it, making it more and more about the character and not this larger thing. Because when I think about the movie, I've always pictured that opening scene being him stumbling away from the X-Mansion, battle-torn costume, covered in blood, just like in the comic book, and then maybe attempting
suicide.
Something like that. But then I saw the actual movie, and that's the reality of it. Is that we have these expectations in our mind, but that's just the reality of the film. Hell, I mean, even Sabretooth Lee Schreiber was supposed to come back and play Sabretooth in the film, but they eventually cut him out.
Yep. But
all these different things that connect the movies are that connected to the.
It only makes sense that the X-Men movie continuity is as screwed up as the X-Men comic continuity.
Well, I mean, I'm still with every passing day, I'm still holding that concern: is Marvel going to can X-Men to stop Fox to keep Fox away from continually fucking up their franchise of movies?
Yeah, but
But speaking of X-Men, you want to talk about New Mutants?
I do. Apparently Rosario Dawson is in the film.
I did gloss over that. I did read that she's going to be in the film.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure to what capacity though.
Well, I think she's playing a character.
It's so sweet. It is so strange to see these actors crossing bridges with the MCU and these lower scale stuff. I mean, first we have Josh Brolin coming in from the MCU to Fox. Now we have Rosario Dawson coming from the smaller scale MCU over to Fox. What's happening?
I don't know. But apparently New Mutants is going to be a movie with no costumes, and it's going to be a horror movie.
Yes, I did see that. And I haven't read New Mutants, so I don't know a whole lot. I kind of get the gist of it, but I never read that series, so
yeah,
I don't know. But I think that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
because we don't really, I mean, the movies try to paint like a campy but at the same time dark depiction of what the whole mutant situation is from their perspective. We don't really get to see it from the movies. Try to do this, but we really don't get to see the whole mutant situation from the perspective of youths, from the perspective of kids, and what it's like growing up in a world where they are constantly faced with prejudice.
Right. Yeah, but like I said, I mean, New Mutants could be fun. I guess it could be kind of cool to see a different take.
Yeah. I certainly think it'll be a lot better than the unnecessary thing that is Gifted.
Anyway.
I think I might have already said, but we just don't need it. I mean, Legion, that makes sense. But why do we need this?
Well, it's the same thing, but Legion, from the little I've seen, I like Legion better.
Well, the thing I find interesting about Legion is that focuses on an iconic character from that universe.
Yeah.
Not many people know this, but it focuses on one of the X-Men universe's most notable and most powerful characters.
Right.
What is the appeal of Gifted? What makes it special?
It's just tied into the X-Men movies, supposedly, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I don't care.
I don't care. I really don't care. Like, what is it doing for the franchise as a whole that makes it worth a damn?
Yeah.
I don't see it. I watched the trailer and I thought, what's the point of this?
Yeah.
If I want to get my team-based mutant fix, I can just watch the movies.
Yeah.
So I think New Mutants is probably going to one up that show in showing us like the whole mutant situation from the perspective of
normal
youths.
Yeah, from that kind of thing. But apparently The Rock wants Armie Hammer to play Shazam in the movie.
I did see the headlines. I did see some fan art for it too.
Yeah.
The man that was once supposed to play Batman in a canned Justice League movie is now wanted.
Well, Armie Hammer has been circling around a DC role for years.
Yeah, and I mean, when I just found it funny, like when I would have liked to kind of live in a world where I actually got to see George Miller's Justice League movie.
Have you read the script for it?
Nope. I just heard the gist of his idea and saw some character concepts.
Okay. It would have been.
That would have been a pretty cool movie. And Armie Hammer as Batman, yeah, it would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But we never. And then what's her name? She actually had a small role in Mad Max Fury Road as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
All right, it kind of would be cool to see what his vision would have been like, but now we're getting the larger scale film that we talked about, but
here's the thing. I love George Miller, but I like Snyder's cast better.
No, I do. I absolutely do too. And after I saw the Comic-Con footage, that was like the first official trailer for the movie, I was more on board with some of the casting choices, like Ezra Miller as Barry Allen, I'm Fisher as Cyborg.
Yep, I'm so excited for Ezra Miller's Flash. Like I think he's perfect. Like he seems like he feels like every time I see him in a clip, I'm like he's gonna steal the show. Him and Aquaman are gonna steal that show. I think those are gonna be the standout characters from Justice League.
Yeah, Batman and Wonder Woman are the more prominent characters in the film, aside from Superman. However the hell they're going to bring him back in the film.
Wait, they're going to bring Superman back in Justice League? I thought they killed him off forever.
I've read the Return of Superman once many times to not be oblivious to the fact that that's exactly what they're going to do in Justice League.
Yeah, because here's
they crammed the death of Superman in Dawn of Justice. They're going to poorly cram the return of him in Justice League.
And you know he's going to be evil when he shows up.
That is a possibility. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking forward to seeing that dark costume, maybe like incredibly long hair.
He needs a mullet.
Yeah, he needs that awkwardly long hair.
Dude, make Henry Cavill keep the beard, because he's got an awesome beard, and give him the long hair. I'm down for a beard and long-haired Superman.
I just love I just wonder how they're going to explain it. Like, oh, apparently when my people die, we go into what was referred to as a death coma.
Yes.
We don't actually die. We just go.
That's what happened to Krypton. Everyone there isn't dead. They're just sleeping.
They're just sleeping in space.
Yep. Apparently,
I'm just looking forward. That's going to be one of the more comical moments for me, like how they explain how, like, oh, Clark's back, and how did you not die? We saw you get impaled by a fucking monster. What happened? Like, oh, apparently my people don't die. We're immortal. We just sleep it off.
Yep.
They couldn't explain it good in the comics, and they're not going to be able to explain it good in the movie. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but that's just how it is.
Yeah. Are you excited for Wonder Woman? Like, it comes out. I still am. Comes out in a week.
I am still holding a lot of hope and anticipation for this film.
It looks so
good. I say it a lot. I say it often. Gail Gadot has earned my respect and appreciation.
It looks so good.
She's wonderful in the role. I think it's not like I dislike her as a person, but after watching what little she did in the Fast and Furious movies, I was like, that's the extent of her acting abilities. So then I saw she was cast as Wonder Woman, like, why? But then I saw footage, and I saw some pictures, and then I finally saw...
I mean, I'm in that same camp of, like, I didn't think she'd do good, and then I saw Batman v Superman, and she was, like, the best part of that movie.
Batman still the best part of the movie in my book, but she was definitely a big part of it for me.
Okay, we've seen Batman in movies before. We hadn't seen Wonder Woman, so it's like...
Ben Affleck as Batman is just one of my favorite things.
I know.
He's the Dark Knight Returns. He's the closest we're going to get to seeing the Dark Knight Returns version.
And I hope he stays on for more DC movies. Don't leave us, Affleck. That's why Justice League...
Don't succumb to the pressure.
That's why Justice League needs to be good, so that Affleck can stay Batman.
Don't wuss out, man. We have faith in you.
Don't listen to the asshole critics. Fuck those guys.
It's not your acting. It's the script.
If you get
it's not you're wonderful. So
please
stay.
You're amazing. And that's the thing with the Justice League cast. Like, I like all of the casting. I just think if they get solid scripts, like, they're solid.
They are solid. Yeah. And I mean, based on what we have seen in the trailers, the dialogue's good.
Yeah. Patty Jenkins is a good director.
Yeah.
So,
again, it'll still be interesting to see what Joss Whedon does with that material.
Do you think their styles are going to mesh? Do you think like Zack Snyder's? Because I mean, we talked about this where Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon are kind of almost on the opposite ends of spectrums, like where Joss is really good at making fun, lighthearted characters with quippy dialogue, and Zack is really good at visual storytelling and great action scenes. Do you think that now that they're kind of coming together, do you think that it's going to be able to are they going to be able to balance well, or do you think it's going to be...
I hope so. What I would like out of this minimum is I want the film to be a bit more colorful because you have characters like Wonder Woman and Superman. You need some you need some colorful imagery there. Batman, fine. He was visually represented very well in Dawn of Justice, but Superman and Wonder Woman need to be a little bit more colorful. These are upbeat, campy characters, not grim ones. So
yeah,
so don't weigh down Aquaman and the Flash with that same thing. Brighten it. I want the film to be brightened up just a little bit. I mean, again, based on what we've seen, it looks really good, but I would like the film to be brightened up just a bit.
Oh yeah,
I think the action looks fine. Again,
Aquaman rides the Batmobile and jumps up and stabs parademons.
Yeah. So again, the action looks absolutely fine. What I would just like is just Whedon to sprinkle on a bit more of that nice shot, that nice character interaction.
Give us some snappy dialogue and
spice up that dialogue, those character interactions, and maybe see if you can brighten up the vibe just a bit. But for the most part, I think the film looks really fine as it is. It's just a matter of ultimately how the script as a whole reflects on the film.
It's still written by Chris Terrio, who wrote Argo and Batman v Superman. So maybe he finally got they're like, oh, okay, Justice League,
we finally got it. We did it. We got it.
Yeah, we got this. We got this. We got this. That's the thing with this is like with Justice League, don't get me wrong. I love my superhero movies to have meaning and what the story is and the theme and all of that. But I'm not going to be mad if this movie is just, hey, we got a bunch of superpowered dudes and they got to fight the bad guy to stop the bad guy from doing bad things. And here's your action and fun quips and let's go.
Yeah, there still needs to be some kind of good formal approach to this. And again, I'm pretty confident. I just imagine Joss is gonna just add a little bit some essential flair.
Yeah,
that the film could use.
But yeah. And we've got Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 coming out.
Yeah, I guess. Yep. I only played a bit of the first one. Wasn't too absorbed into it.
Yeah, I was the same.
I haven't really been absorbed into Lego games in recent time. I guess it's just a matter of I just need to sit down and play them.
I like the Lego Star Wars games.
I mean, I do like the Lego games. It's just a matter of I just have to sit down and play them.
Right.
One of the biggest problems is that I have games that I prioritize, and then there are ones that I'm interested in, but just can't seem to find the time or just to pick them up and play through them. There's still just an entire list of games in my collection that I still need to finish.
Right.
But I mean the game looks fine. It looks like an interesting original story. I mean, you got superheroes and there's some alternate reality shit going on, and then I don't know. It looks like fun.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can, I especially the thing that in the trailer that caught my eye was the Spider characters. You got to see Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Gwen.
Yep.
It'd be cool to be able to play as those characters in the game. Hopefully, I can see some alternate universe versions of the Punisher, maybe or Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Oh, if we could play as a Lego version of Charlie Cox's Daredevil in the game,
yeah,
pretty sweet. Because I think it's cool when we get to see the live action versions of these characters in Lego form. I think it's super cute.
Yeah.
And cool, and it's kind of like, can these figures exist for real? So I could put them on my collection.
Yes.
Put them on display. So if we could see like Lego versions of the Daredevil series in the game, that would be really cool.
I guess, do you want to talk about Pirates 5?
So what about it specifically?
Oh, apparently they're going to do a Pirate 6. There's like 3 or 4 more of these apparently coming out.
God damn it. Damn it.
Has Johnny Depp not made enough money? Has he not?
I'm just starting to think he just doesn't care anymore. He's just turning into another one of the big names that just doesn't give a rat's ass anymore.
I mean, I remember when the first Pirates of the Caribbean came out, and that was such a lightning in a bottle movie. You know, it was I mean, I still love that first movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do too. I mean, hell, I don't have it. I still need to buy a collection of the films. But if every once in a while I notice it's still on Netflix, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's a fun. You know, I mean, it brought swashbuckling back to films. It was, Jack Sparrow in that first movie was a really great character. He was funny. He was drunk enough to be like, Captain Jack Sparrow, mate. And all that, and
like just like an excellent image of like the perfect blend of flamboyance yet still brave and bold, and like a kind of like a dumb luck like character. He was just the perfect.
He was kind of like he was the pirate version. I always saw him as the drunk pirate version of Buster Keaton. with a little bit of a rock star flair thrown in,
Yeah, just all these great elements,
mm-hmm.
And then you get all these other movies, and it's just like I just getting tired of this character. Like, we get it; he's done all the same stuff. He's apparently untouchable. Nothing bad ever really seems to happen.
What I noticed about the later films, and I don't know if you noticed this, but in the first movie, when he did stuff, it almost felt like he did it on purpose. You know what I mean? Where it felt like when he saved Elizabeth Swann, he knew he was going to escape and knew how he was going to do it. So you were like, oh, he's not a complete bumbling idiot. But then later on in the series, they played it more like it was just dumb luck.
Yeah.
So
the thing that makes this character interesting is you think he's just a bumbling drunk.
Yeah.
But no, he's a lot smarter than he led.
He's kind of he was kind of reminded me of someone like Columbo. Did you ever see the show Columbo?
I did not.
Okay. Columbo was it was a procedural show back in like the 70s. And my mom loves the show. I used to watch it with her when I was a kid. And the whole point, like one of the cool things about that show was Columbo was this detective, and he was very raggedy. He wore like a really dirty overcoat. He had really bad hair. And like, he was always like, oh man, I left my notepad. Like, hold on, very bumbling. And the idea was he presented himself as this bumbling kind of character that the people who committed the murders would underestimate him and wouldn't take him seriously, and that's how he would get him. That's how I kind of felt about Jack Sparrow. Was he was somebody who put on that persona, and then in the second and third movie they just made him that bumbling idiot.
Yeah. They turned what was an interesting character into a joke.
Yeah.
A joke that still manages to reel in a shitload of money at the box office.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, we sit here and say, oh, they should stop, but if I was Disney, I wouldn't fucking stop.
You're right. I mean, I would still have my
that
rules
franchise has
start,
brought in...
maybe we should stop.
That franchise
so
that franchise over 4 movies has brought in $3 billion.
Yeah, my morals would say like we should stop, but the day these movies stop meeting our quotas, we'll stop making them.
Yeah, and they're set up for Pirates 6 apparently, and because no one expected that first movie to do well.
You're right.
It
was a bold move for Disney back in the day.
Yeah, I remember like people saying, "Oh, they're making a movie out of a theme ride." Oh, come on, really? They're out of ideas. There's no way that movie's going to do well. And it came out, and everybody who saw it loved it.
I remember seeing early ads for it. Being a little kid back then, I remember seeing ads for it. I was like, "What's this?" Mm-hmm. And then I finally got to see. This is so cool.
Yeah.
You don't get to see pirates be cool these days. People don't know how to put pirates on the screen, or when they do, they're either terrible or the depressing kind from today.
Yeah, it was
nobody knows how to do pirates anymore.
It was a romanticism. It was a romanticism of the. It was a romanticism of the genre.
Yes, to see pirates just being pirates.
The whole thing was, they even changed the rape, pillage, and plunder to raid, pillage, and plunder.
Yeah.
But
there still has to be boundaries.
There still has to be boundaries, but yeah. Like I said, apparently the film isn't getting great reviews, but it looks on track where it's going to make a lot of money.
Well, has those movies ever gotten positive reviews since the second one was a mixed
No,
bag?
The first one's the only one on Rotten Tomatoes that's actually fresh.
Yeah, the second one is a mixed bag in my eyes.
The second one's half a movie. The second one is half a movie.
Yeah, it's half a movie,
mm-hmm.
and then the half of it that's actually good before it goes up its own ass to the point of no return is. Shitty.
The best parts of the second one, I still love the scene, and I'll watch that scene on YouTube, is when Jack Sparrow's got the jar of dirt, and he just goes, I got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it?
Oh, my favorite part was the over-the-top ridiculous battle between Jack, Will, and, I think his name was James, or whatever.
Barbossa?
No, not Barbossa, the former soldier.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think his name was James. Like the battle between the three of them, that's like over the top, and they're just going all over the place. I thought that one was really, really well done.
Well, that's the thing with Pirates, is that it's an over the top Errol Flynn adventure. Yeah.
That's like the best parts of the movie is the over the top pirate stuff where they're getting into shenanigans. Like, I really like how they choreograph, for family movies, quote unquote.
Yeah.
They staged some pretty good action sequences.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they're just fun and over the top. Do you think this is going to be number 1 at the box office in a week when Wonder Woman comes out? Do you think it's going to be able to top Wonder Woman? Or do you think Wonder Woman will beat it out for number 1?
I feel Wonder Woman is going to come out on top and kick everybody's ass. She's going to kick Pirates' ass. She's going to kick Aliens' ass.
Well, don't forget Captain
Underpants
comes out the same weekend.
But I don't think it's going to be a huge success.
Yeah.
You read the books as a kid, and it's only for those people.
Yeah, but no,
I probably have to read into this, but I don't remember Goosebumps being a huge success. Yes, it is getting a sequel, and we talked about that.
Right.
But I don't remember it being like a big worldwide success. I remember going to the theater, and I was one of probably less than a dozen people at that screening who saw it.
Yeah.
Probably because it was a weekend thing or something. I don't remember, but that was one of those things where I think it was just maybe some adult fans, maybe some families were there, but it was The theater I was in wasn't packed, so I get the feeling that it's going to be the same thing with this. When it comes to adapting children's books,
And Wonder Woman is getting like positive reviews. Like the embargo's still kind of on, but like there's been like reviews here and there, and like every review I've seen has like praised the movie. So like,
and it's also getting like it's also got two things also going for it. I don't mean to like, and it's gonna have a lot of comic book fans flocking to it, as these movies tend to do. And I don't want to sound sexist, but a lot of women are probably going to flock to this movie as well.
Well, this is what Wonder Woman is what Ghostbusters wanted to be and failed.
Yes. Again, I do not mean to sound sexist in any way possible. But
I'll say it. That Ghostbusters movie was a piece of shit.
I haven't saw it, and just clips of footage.
The thing that I guess I'll kind of go into it. The problem I had with the Ghostbusters remake was that it didn't know what it wanted to be, and that movie. How do I say this without being an asshole? That movie hated men so much, and I get it. Men are assholes. I'm a man, and you and I are men. I can admit, men are fucking assholes.
It is true. Our gender is a fucking stain.
Right, but if you look at the movie itself, every single man in that movie is either a coward, incompetent, a weirdo, or an asshole. Every single one. And if you look at the original Ghostbusters, yeah, all the Ghostbusters were men, and I think they could have put... But it wasn't written to say, oh, women couldn't be Ghostbusters. It was written as, oh, hey, it's the guys from Saturday Night Live doing a movie. And Dana Barrett was the only competent one out of the main cast.
Yeah, you had the campy goofball Ghostbusters as your main characters, and then you have the sassy secretary.
Well, and the secretary, but Dana Barrett was the only competent, person who had her life together. Like, the Ghostbusters were failed college professors.
Well, what I like about it is that the female characters in that movie are still, as if the Ghostbusters are empowering for men, the female characters are empowering for women. There weren't sexist depictions of them. They were pretty level-headed, pretty general depictions.
Good people,
Yeah.
And I'm fine with a female Ghostbusters team. It just needs to have done it. I just wish it was done well.
And I haven't seen the movie, but just looking at trailers or clips of it burns my eyes because it tries way too hard to be all these different things and fails horribly. And when I say, and I keep saying it, but I don't want to sound sexist in any way. But to face the facts here, Wonder Woman is going to do what what Ghostbusters 2016 could not, and a large female demographic is going to go see it just because of how.
And it's actually going to be empowering for women.
Yeah, it's not it's actually going to pull it off. It's going to be legitimate.
That is what feminism is. In itself, so
it's going to deliver on a very promising. It's going to definitely be very, very satisfying for that crowd, and that's awesome. I know we talk about this how when thinking of female characters, we want them to be depicted. We want to create characters that are depicted more realistically, more equally.
Yeah. Well, I've been having trouble because I've been trying to get a script made. Another script made that I've been trying to work on, and I've been having trouble getting it made because a lot of my main characters are female. Like, I have 5 main characters, only one of them is male, and I keep getting shot down because of that. But that's a different issue. But
yeah, the point is, it's just trying to sell realistic female characters is tough. And it is very unfair.
Yeah.
So to know that there's a movie that's going to be able to pull that off is very exciting. It's a very good step in the right direction.
And I'm surprised that, think about this. Marvel has been going for almost 10 years, and this is DC's 4th movie, and we're already getting a female lead movie.
Yeah. It's great.
And if you count Suicide Squad, Harley was kind of a major character in that.
She was.
So technically,
regardless of disagreements with her choice of costume, yeah, she was pretty crucial to that film.
Yeah. So
they did a great job. Margot Robbie
kicked ass.
Yeah, she did.
But like I said, I've got no, and it's just the thing of like, yeah, let's actually have all this badass stuff. But yeah,
we're not getting Captain Marvel for another year.
Yeah, and that's just weird to think that Marvel has been going for 10 years and the DC's going to beat them to the punch on a female-led superhero movie.
Yeah, because let's look back at it. I mean, people are still campaigning for a Black Widow movie. We don't know when that's going to happen.
I don't think it will. I don't think it will now because Ghost in the Shell bombed.
Yes, you're right.
I don't think it will now. I think if Ghost in the Shell...
I still haven't seen the movie, but I did know that.
I think if Ghost in the Shell had done well, I think Marvel would have been more likely to do it, but because that movie bombed, I don't think they will.
And, yeah, Captain Marvel doesn't happen for another year. Ant-Man and the Wasp doesn't happen for another year.
Yep.
And just all these different possibilities for characters. Hell, Spider-Gwen could have been turned into something by now, and it hasn't even happened.
Yeah.
So to see DC do this is definitely is very.
And it's getting a sequel. They already said it's going to get a sequel.
Yes, awesome.
I'm so happy for that.
It is very exciting.
And Patty Jenkins said she's coming back. So
awesome.
I'm so fucking happy for that. But yeah, I will be there opening night. And then if you want, you and I can do a spoil. Are you going to go see the movie? Opening weekend?
Let's have to see how the circumstances.
Well, when you see it, we should probably. Oh, it'd be fun. I'll probably talk to you offline about this, but we could probably do like commentaries for movies on our channel. Yeah.
One thing because something that I definitely do when I watch movies is give commentary.
Oh yeah, totally. That'd be awesome.
If I'm watching a movie for the several-ish time, I will do commentary the entire fucking time.
Oh yeah.
I cannot be silenced.
Yeah.
I will mention things I like. I will mention things I don't like. I will theorize, speculate, do all of that stuff while a movie's playing.
Yep. Do we want to talk about the Far Cry 5 stuff? Because I don't have anything else, so I think Far Cry 5 can be our last story.
Well, I guess I could do the game space for a bit. The other movie thing I was going to bring up is on top of stuff that's getting made. As you mentioned, there's currently a Wonder Woman sequel now already in development. John Wick 3, or possibly John Wick Chapter 3, title pending, is currently being written as we speak.
Yes.
The movie came out. The Chapter 2 came out months ago. It is about to be released on physical media.
It's already on digital.
Yeah, it is out on digital now.
And we're not getting paid to promote it. Just everyone go and buy John Wick.
But I don't care. I will promote movies payment free. If I like it and I know it's awesome, I will preach it from the highest heights and say, watch this movie.
Yes.
Do yourselves a favor and watch the damn movie. But, yep, 3 is currently being written, and it's going to be awesome because Chapter 2 and 1 are
fucking great.
Are fucking awesome. Best examples of action movies within the last decade.
Oh, God, yes.
By the time we get to 2020 and looking back on this, we got I could confidently say we got one of the best action movie trilogies in a long time. I don't think we can recall the last time we got 3 straight action movies, an entire trilogy of action movies that were perfect from beginning to end.
No, I can't either. Maybe Rambo.
Maybe Rambo. Maybe Die Hard.
Yeah.
Well, I say Die Hard lightly because, let's face it, Die Hard 2 did not need to happen the way it did.
I'm the only person on the planet that likes Die Hard 2.
No, don't get me wrong. I love all the movies equally.
Even 5?
Yes. I can go all day about this and say that I actually like A Good Day to Die Hard because there's this whole thing I have to explain about why I like it for what it is, but
the first scene, dude, John McClane gets on a plane and doesn't make a crack about how he hates flying.
We talked
From
about
scene
it before,
1, that movie is wrong.
I know there's some stuff that's wrong, but it's about John reconnecting with his kids, and it's about him rekindling his relationship with his family, and that's like the important thing. I mean, yeah, McClane is still an important character, but at the end of the day, he's still just a guy. He's still just a cop doing his job, and it has been brought up that his career, his job has ruined his family life. So I like the idea that the last 2 movies focus on him trying to fix what he'd lost.
Whatever, man. Whatever. You can.
But getting back to Die Hard 2, I'm probably one of the, my mother is a huge fan of Bruce Willis's work. Loves the Die Hard films. She made me a fan of that series and the actor. And I'm probably the only one at Christmas time that watches both Die Hard and Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
She and everybody else I know only wants to watch the first one. Like, I like to watch the second one. It's great.
Yeah.
We definitely didn't need it because it does the same thing that the first movie did. But hey, it's more John McClane, and it's awesome.
Oh, I love John McClane. John McClane's just an awesome character. He's
favorite movie cop. Like, he's my favorite cop in movies. Max Payne's my favorite cop from video games.
Oh yeah, it just I love John McClane. Just oh, so good. Oh, dude, we should do a Christmas commentary for Die Hard 1 and 2.
Totally.
All right.
But getting back to John Wick. I can just say a few years down the line, after the third movie comes out, and probably the following year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a perfect trilogy.
Absolutely.
2 came out the following year. People could have said it's probably not going to be as good because it's a sequel, and action movie sequels tend not to be. No, it was bigger and arguably better than the first. The first movie. I mean, I like them both equally. They are perfection in their own special ways, but to just see Keanu Reeves just step on that screen and find all cool new ways to kill off the bad guys.
Keanu Reeves should be in the DCEU.
He totally should.
You know,
he is.
He would have been an awesome Batman.
Maybe, especially since he would have done more of his own stunts.
Yeah.
I mean, it still amazes me. The guy is 52 years old, does all of his own stunts,
and still looks like he does from 1994.
Yeah, he's still. I mean, the lack of wire work makes his ability to kick ass on screen just all the more awesome. I mean, he looked cool in the Matrix movies, but to see him do all of that stuff practically, just makes you love him even more.
I am the one. Whoa.
Yeah, I just say it, he is 52 years old. Still looks really amazing for his age, and does all of his own stunt work, and just kicks a ton of ass, drives kick-ass cars.
Yep.
He is this generation. I would say he's like this generation's number one action hero.
Oh yeah,
he is. Like I said, he's older, but for the young people of today, like this is your center action guy.
Yeah, totally.
He's just so awesome, and I just just it's too cool.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, John Wick 3. I want the third one now. That
I do too. That ending is kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen next? I need to know.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Do we want to? So do we want to finish up with Far Cry 3 or Far Cry 5?
Have you even played Far Cry? Do you even know what you're talking about?
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, the big news this morning was Ubisoft has finally pulled the big veil off Far Cry 5 after teasing it for the past week. And I am very ecstatic. I am very, very, very excited for this game. I am a big Far Cry fan. I practically play 3 religiously. I love the campy fun that is in 4. So when rumors started brewing around that the 5th game was in development, I immediately got all giddy because while the majority of people like their multiplayer, like they're dull, like seemingly dull, and very low-layered FPS shooters. Not that I'm shitting on these franchises, but let's face the facts. A lot of the big popular first-person shooters are the same old thing. Far Cry is my favorite first-person shooter because it is not afraid to unapologetically go outside the box and do stuff differently.
Right.
And I love it. The fact that you can go around, that you can explore these open, exotic locations and do all this cool, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It is an adrenaline rush from the comfort of your own home. Yeah. You could go out and have adventures. You could go bungee jumping. You could go skydiving. You could do all of this cool stuff in real life. But what game will let you run around an open world setting and unapologetically kill dozens of people and look incredibly badass doing it?
Right.
Not that I'm condoning murder, but...
Wait, you're not? We don't condone murder on this channel?
No, not that I am condoning murder, but let's face it, But I mean, when everybody thinks about going to like a calm, serene beach, my fantasy is going to a calm, serene beach killing pirates.
Yeah,
that's a fun adventure for me. Like, I can kick back and relax. Yeah. Just walking out through the sand, the nice, gentle breeze and flow of the ocean, touching the bottom of my boots. While I'm cutting the throats on pirates.
Right.
But talking about 5, because I'm getting really sidetracked here, but I would highly recommend watching these trailers if you have not. That goes for you and goes for the audience. Because again, it is very... where to begin? Well, the gist of it is that it's really flipping the scripts because after Far Cry Primal was kind of a lukewarm received game, it was an interesting concept. I like the idea that instead of going to another strange exotic setting, they took it back. You're in 10,000 BC. You're in the Stone Age.
Yep. And
taking those concepts and applying it to that era was fun, but it's unfortunately one of those games that you play once and then you forget about it.
Right.
Play it once, don't ever touch it again. Unfortunately, but hell, I'm actually replaying 3 in light of 5's announcement again, but. 5 is looking to flip the script. The first big change that the game is going for, it is set in America, set in Hope County, Montana.
Yeah. I did hear that it is set in Montana, which... Cool.
Well, again, it's strange, because in the previous games, you've been to the African safari, you've been to the lush green jungles, you've been to the Himalayan mountains, but a game of like this set in America, that seems kind of strange. Well, if you do some digging on the internet, you'll find out that Montana is actually a pretty exotic location within its own right.
Well, I mean, I'm from North Dakota, so like Montana's like right next to where I used to live.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, you're going to be reminded of Kyrat from Far Cry 4 with kind of like the more. Not with the kind of less central-looking forests,
right?
Open fields. You're gonna get all those pieces are still there, but I think it's interesting that it's set in America because it's unexpected,
right?
I mean, you're getting the Far Cry experience on American soil, and I think that's going to be great for some interesting gameplay. And again, it's doing a lot of things differently. It's the story this time around is a religious cult called Eden's Gate has taken over this, is slowly dominating this area of Montana, and you are I believe the junior deputy of the local sheriff's department sent in to sort of deal with the matter, but you are soon thwarted. You are cut off from the rest of the world. You have no friends, no resources, and it is single-handedly up to you to build a resistance and take on this cult head on.
Yeah.
And first for the Far Cry franchise, you actually get to make your own character, which I think is really cool. I know they kind of toyed with that idea in Far Cry 2, where you could pick from several different playable characters as your protagonist.
Right.
But now you get to build your own character. You can pick the gender. You can pick your ethnicity. You can kind of pick. I guess you can probably pick on some cosmetic traits for the character as well. But my dream of going through being able to being able to go through the Far Cry experience as a woman, because chick power, because girl power is going to be pretty cool. Again, I don't know. I think it's just empowering to play as female characters in video games. Go ahead and hate me if you want. Another one of the big exciting features in the game is you can actually play through the entire co-op, through the entire campaign start to finish in co-op.
Yeah.
So on top of being able to make your own character, you can play the story with a buddy, which Far Cry 4 kind of toyed with, but I think it's cool that Far Cry 5 is going to be able to allow you to do that.
Right.
They're adding more personality and variety to the experience by having the characters that you interact with actually have more significance.
Yeah.
Because in previous games, yeah, the characters had their personalities, they had their quirks, but you really just only went to them for tasks, for missions. Now, and the thing is, the thing about it is that the resistance element of it is that you are an outsider. You're really in all of the games, you're an outsider. You are brought into this weird setting, and it is really up to you to sort of settle shit for everybody else. But, and 4 kind of tampered with that by having the main character actually be born in the game setting, but he was raised in the United States, but he was born in Kyrat and taken out and raised in the States at a young age. And this game is kind of bringing back that element where you are a deputy for the local sheriff's department, but you are isolated and cut off in this setting, and it is up to you to build the movement that deals with these cultists and what they're doing, instead of it kind of being the other way around, where you're sort of unintentionally forced to help the rebels with their cause. So it's going to be cool to kind of see what they do with that.
Okay.
It's just cool to see that it's flipping the script with the traditional Far Cry formula by giving players what they come to expect, but doing all these cool different things like co-op, being able to make your own character, being able to explore a new sort of ecosystem, a new sort of environment. Because I did see some pictures of Montana's wilderness, and it looks absolutely beautiful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In the Rocky Mountains is a very beautiful location. I went there as a kid, and I still remember how amazing it looks. And I even posted on Facebook when they revealed the cover art for the game. All the pieces are there. You got big guns. You got a cool open world setting. You have a kooky looking main villain. Yeah, everything's there. So I look forward to this coming out in February of next year. Yep. Actually, it's February 27th, 2018. That's actually my younger brother's birthday, strangely enough. So I might actually get him the game for his birthday and say, play this, it's fucking awesome.
Okay, cool.
I actually might get this on PlayStation 4 and send you a copy, because you need to experience the Far Cry experience and how fucking awesome that is. Okay, cool. If you love shooters, you want a different take on it, please, by all means, play Far Cry. It's fun. They're awesome games, and I look forward to seeing the official gameplay reveal at E3 when Ubisoft does their public demo. Okay.
Anything? We can talk about the Hitman's Bodyguard trailer.
Yeah, we could.
It looks fun. I mean, it's Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds going around in an R-rated movie, cursing and shooting at people. So
you got two funny you have two actors known for playing awesome main characters and awesome side characters in a movie together. Yeah. How could this possibly go wrong?
Exactly. I'm looking forward to it. It's fucking it's fucking Deadpool and Nick Fury. Yep. Deadpool and Nick Fury's excellent adventure.
Please let them make a reference to their characters.
Yes. I don't have anything else unless you want to talk anything else.
Actually, I did have another opinion.
Okay.
About going back to the Far Cry 5. I know it's getting weird that I'm getting sidetracked and going all over the place.
Oh, because we're so known for being streamlined in these podcasts.
I don't know. There's still got to be some level of professionalism to what we do, even if I did just mispronounce professionalism.
Professionalism.
Another thing that makes Far Cry 5 interesting in a strange way is it's already getting controversy.
Really? About what?
Yeah, it's already getting controversy. About a few days ago, when Ubisoft revealed the cover art for the game, it stirred up a shitstorm of people that were offended and going like, Ubisoft is making an offensive game, I'm not going to buy this, don't buy the game if you're with me, all that crap. And my stance on that is, any of you out there that think Far Cry 5 is an offensive game, get off your high horse, stop complaining, and go find something else.
What are they offended about?
Well, that's another thing I like about the Far Cry series is that it isn't afraid to hit touchy subjects. Like Far Cry 3 did a great stance was very much a good psychological thriller. Far Cry 4 was a very campy action adventure game, and then that tackled some strange stuff with family. And now 5 is attempting to tackle the angle of cults, like trying to create like a very genuine feel of dealing with what it's like to confront a cult organization, and sort of like how that kind of affects people living in a rural area. But the controversy for this game is really just stemming from the core elements of it. People are offended by the idea that it's set in America.
They're offended?
America.
They're offended that it's set in America.
Yep. People are offended that it is set in the good old US of A.
But this is the 5th installment. Like, it's not like this is like...
Well, this is a weird thing. People this is like a no-win. It's like a catch-22 or a no-win situation. We get tons of like first-person shooters or action games in general where you have a protagonist, typically white, killing foreigners. Hell, Far Cry
Call of Duty
is one of the easy targets. But Far Cry 3, you're literally just an average white guy who has to become a merciless killer, killing people of multiple ethnicities, pirates, mercenaries on foreign soil. Far Cry 4, the protagonist is just a born native to the country, but he was raised in the States, killing East Asian European, it's East Asian people. Sorry, I'm getting all confused. And that was found people find that controversial.
People find anything controversial.
So I find this funny and ironic. So wait, you are against the idea of a usually white protagonist killing foreigners in a different country, but now you're going to get on your high horse and complain about being a white person or a protagonist on American soil killing Americans.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
No.
No, it doesn't. Because at the end of the day, when you play a first-person shooter, race has nothing to do with anything.
Well, you said you can even pick your own character, so...
Well, they haven't... Again, the exact details aren't completely laid out for it yet, but the gist of it is you can build your own protagonist for Far Cry 5. You can pick their gender, you can pick their ethnicity, you can make from what they've said, from what little they said, you can make this character whatever you want them to be.
Right.
So yeah, race has nothing to do with it. At the end of the day, it's all about hostility. In Far Cry 3, you are fighting pirates and mercenaries. In 4, you are killing the royal army who are oppressing the people of the country. In 5, you are fighting a cult that has got the inhabitants of this county by gunpoint to join their movement.
Right.
The cults in this game are religious zealots that think the end of days is coming, so they're trying to rally as many people as they can for their cause, even if they have to do it by force.
Right.
That is morally wrong.
Yeah.
They are hostile people that are oppressing the locals, so it is up to you to stop them. So that has nothing to do with anything. Hell, I know some people. I know a friend of mine said he wanted the game to be set in the Middle East, and we would have had the same thing where it's like, oh, you got a white protagonist killing foreigners. That's completely wrong. Like,
yeah.
it's just a game. It's fiction.
Right.
And it doesn't, and race has nothing to do with it. It's either kill or be killed.
Yeah.
And it just frustrates me that, and I find it kind of just frustrating, but kind of interesting that people still complain about that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's fiction, and you're looking at it the wrong way. It's also almost hypocritic because chances are you're probably one of those casual people that likes those other generic action games or shooters where that stuff happens. I mean, I could get on a rant about all the different kinds of people Nathan Drake has killed in the Uncharted games.
Yeah.
And that was never considered like a race crime.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's just...
I don't know.
It's just strange how even in the earliest phases of development for a game, they can still get controversy like a movie would.
Yeah.
And yeah, Far Cry 4 had the same thing where people were rubbed the wrong way by the seemingly flamboyant nature of the villain Pagan Min. I think some people think that he was an offense, like I think they took the flamboyant nature of the character and assumed he was supposed to be like an offensively gay character, even though...
Oh, just because he's flamboyant, he has to be gay.
Yeah, people were offended by that. Like,
yeah.
You have no context for this. If you actually play the game, you'll find out he's straight, and he's a fucking psychopath who happens to be very flamboyant and into fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a highlight of these games is the fact that in the center of them is that all the villains are these crazy psychos.
Right.
Again, Far Cry 3, you are up against a pirate lord and and his superior who deal in drugs, weapons, human trafficking. In 4, you have a ruthless dictator who took the country by force, oppresses the people, also pushes weapons, drugs.
Yep.
And then 5 is going to be no different, where you have this crazy religious zealous and his siblings who are working together to force the local people of this county to join their crazy ass movement. It's
yeah.
And in my eyes, that makes for good storytelling because other video games don't approach that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see other action games try to approach this material, and I find it campy and refreshing to see, and entertaining to see games that do that.
Right.
When others aren't, and it's
just
it's
interesting.
It is, and I think more people should instead stop looking at it like judging the book by its cover, and actually give it a fucking chance.
Right.
Sit down and play these games, and you'll see just what they're all about.
Right.
But that's enough of me ranting on about saying enough about the cool fact that I'm excited for Far Cry 5, and then the rants of the controversy. But since I'm one last video game thing that I will mention, the first trailer for Netflix's upcoming Castlevania series has dropped.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about that. Looks fine.
I'm not a big Castlevania fan.
I stopped playing Castlevania after the Super Nintendo, so
I took interest in the Lords of Shadow in the Lords of Shadow games that ran from 2010 and onward. I did take some interest in the lore. One of these days, I will sit down and play Symphony of the Night. One of these days, I will sit down and probably even play the original games. But I think it's interesting.
For me, Castlevania goes Castlevania, Castlevania 3, and then Castlevania 4.
Oh no, Simon's Quest for you?
No, I mean I played Simon's Quest, but no.
It's no good.
No. Have you seen the nerd video on it?
No.
You don't watch AVGN?
I do, just not frequently.
Mm.
But I do know who. Yeah,
Yeah, he did. He summed it up perfectly. But yeah, I mean, we're at an hour and 34 minutes, so I think this might actually be our longest episode.
I thought we went for almost 2 hours at one point.
I think yeah, you're right. There might be. I think 2 might be the longest.
But I, as a light fan of this series, I'll give it a look. It looks promising. I like the animation style.
Right. So,
I mean, it could be another one of those things that does justice to video games and media.
Right.
While movies are still hit and miss, maybe animation might be an appropriate approach for this series. It comes out. We don't have to wait too long. It comes out July 7th, and I look forward to sitting down and seeing what it's all about.
What it's all about.
And hopefully it can be a gate opener for more games to get this kind of treatment outside of movies.
Yeah.
And
well, I don't have anything else unless you do.
I mean, I have one more.
It's always one more with you. It's
Samurai
always
Jack.
one more with you.
Well, always one more with me. But we've underlooked this, and Samurai Jack. I don't want to. I think I'm going to save the spoiler talk for later, but
well, we can just do a spoiler talk. We can do a spoiler. We can do a spoiler. We can do a spoiler talk video in itself.
We could, and we should, because this is important. On top of doing a retrospective about the whole series, but we might as well make that thing. Might as well make that a thing on the channel. Just do retrospectives.
Yeah.
On movies and stuff, but yeah, I saw an ad for this. Tomorrow, Adult Swim is going to be marathoning all 10 episodes that make up season 5 from 11 to 4.
That's awesome.
And I'm probably going to sit down and watch it. I'm probably going to sit down and binge watch all 10 of those magnificent episodes, start to finish.
Ooh, shiny.
And that will most likely be the final send off.
Oh, I actually have one other thing we can talk about.
Go ahead.
This happened a while ago. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but apparently, Fox is really interested in getting Firefly back on the air now. And here's my thing on it. Just let it fucking die. Like, it doesn't need to come back. Like, look, Ron Glass has passed away. Joss is working with Justice League. All the actors have moved on to other things. Like, I love Firefly, but just, sometimes you just gotta move on,
Yeah, this is true. I mean, we can't sit here and attempt to beat an already disintegrated dead horse.
Yeah.
That horse is long gone. That ship has sailed.
The last time those characters were around on the screen was in 2005.
Yeah, let that sink in.
It's been 12 years. Just let it die.
The ship has sailed into the vast distance. Leave it be, please.
Yep. And it's just like Fox to, over a decade later, realize that, hey, maybe we should have let that thing be on the air.
That's corporate for you. I'm trying to think about how they can bring in that sweet monies.
Well, I mean, we all like money, but
we do. That's what fuels our big system, the bigger picture of things, and that's how I get all the cool collectibles that I can stare at and watch collect dust.
Mm-hmm.
Like a geek would.
Yes.
But we have to...
I don't have anything else unless you have, so...
I think I'm all think I'm all tuned out.
Okay, well, this has been two geeks, or two dorks, one mic. I'm Kyle.
What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. This has been two dorks. I'll fix it in post. It's fine. Like we actually do post-production on these.
Can't be bothered to do that.
Oh no, that requires work. I'm Kyle.
And I'm James.
And this has been two dorks, one mic. Have a great night.